Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to spell out the rules of Scrabble Junior Advanced Level, piece by piece, so you can jump right into the fun. If you're a beginner looking for a step-by-step guide to mastering the blank side of that Scrabble Junior board, well, you're in exactly the right place. We are going to transform a handful of totally random letters into a winning strategy. By the end of this guide, you'll have all the tools you need to outsmart your opponents and build an absolutely incredible, interconnected grid of words. Okay, so here's our agenda for today. First, goal and game setup. Next, making your first move. Then, connecting words and scoring. After that, what if you were stuck? And finally, ending the game and winning. Let's dive right in. Section 1. Goal and game setup. All right, before we start placing any letters, let's talk about the ultimate goal. Have the most points at the end of the game. It sounds obvious, right? But the crucial thing to remember here is that every single move you make should be driven by this desire to rack up points. It isn't just about showing off and making the longest word you can possibly think of. It's about making the smartest word based on the scoring rules. Every tile is a stepping stone to victory. Keep that overarching objective in the back of your mind with literally every decision you make at the table. So, to get the game going, you're going to follow these exact setup steps. First, flip that game board over so you're looking at the blue blank side. That's the advanced level board we're tackling today. Next, take all of your letter tiles, put them face down on the table, and give them a really good mix. Just scramble them up. Once they're fully shuffled, every player draws 7 tiles and places them face up right in front of themselves. This way, everyone can see what they're working with and start plotting out their strategies. Finally, designate a scorekeeper. Grab a pen and paper because the math is about to begin. Oh, and here is a quick beginner's tip straight from the official rules. The oldest player always gets to make the very first move, with play proceeding clockwise around the table. Section 2, making your first move. 7. This right here is your magic number. On your turn, you're going to look at those 7 face-up tiles, and you'll place one, some, or even all of them onto the board to spell a word. But remember, it's all about balance. Whenever you end your turn, you absolutely must draw replacement tiles from that face-down pile until you're back up to exactly 7 tiles. You always start your turn with 7 options, no more, no less. It ensures you constantly have a fresh palette of letters to work with as things heat up. Now, there are a few strict placement requirements that keep the game fair and, honestly, a lot more challenging. If you are that oldest player taking the very first turn, your initial word absolutely must cover the center blue square on the board to anchor the game. For everyone else going after that, your new words have to connect by at least one letter to a word that's already sitting on the board. And here is the golden rule, folks. Every single word on the board must be a complete, real word at all times. Say you place an S to make the word cats, right? But oh, it accidentally creates this nonsense word QX going the other way with a neighboring tile? Yeah, that's a no-go. You have to make sure all touching words work. If they don't, you just pull those tiles back and find a different spot to play. And speaking of placement, this brings us to a massive beginner trap you need to avoid. When you're forming those real words, you can only spell them going left to right horizontally or top to bottom vertically. I know it might be incredibly tempting if you see a great opening, but you can never spell words diagonally across the board, no zigzags, and absolutely no backwards spelling. You've got to keep it strictly straight and forward. Section 3. Connecting words and scoring. 1 point. The scoring here is wonderfully straightforward, which is perfect when you're just getting the hang of the advanced side of the board. You score exactly 1 point for every single letter in the word or words you form. And honestly, the best part? That includes any tiles that were already on the board that your new word connects with. For instance, if you build off a T that's already sitting on the board to spell T-O-A-D, that's 4 letters total, which means 4 points for you. You get credit for the whole word, not just the brand new tiles you pulled from your hand. As you score these points turn after turn, you're building out this connected grid. You're literally linking your vocabulary, piece by piece, with your opponent's words. Every single turn expands this grid outward from that center blue square, creating brand new opportunities and intersections for everyone to build on. Just remember, you're not only scoring points for yourself, you're setting up the board for the next player. So keep a close eye on where you're leaving those highly usable vowels and common consonants. Section 4. What if you are stuck? Okay, so you're unable to spell a word. Look, we've all been there. You're staring at your 7 face-up tiles and you simply cannot find a valid horizontal or vertical word that connects to the grid. Maybe you drew, I don't know, 5 I's and 2 U's. Don't panic. You are not out of the game, and you are for sure not the first player to face a super frustrating combination of letters. The rules actually have a built-in safety valve for this exact situation. It's like a tactical retreat. You can simply choose to exchange your tricky letters for fresh ones from the pile. You can trade in just one, a few, or even all 7 of your tiles if your hand is just completely unsalvageable. You swap them out, but the trade-off is that you have to end your turn without scoring any points. Once you make the exchange, you draw back up to exactly 7 tiles, and play just passes to the left. Honestly, sometimes taking a 0 for 1 round is literally the smartest strategic move you can make. It's a temporary sacrifice to ditch those tricky letters and set yourself up for a massive, high-scoring word on your very next turn. Section 5. Ending the game and winning. So the game keeps going turn by turn until all the face-down letters in that central pile are totally gone. But wait, it doesn't stop there. The game actually isn't over until the very last tile finds a home and the board is completely full. Once every single letter has been placed, that scorekeeper tallies up the final totals from their notepad to declare the champion. And remember our ultimate goal from the very beginning? Yep, the player who accumulated the most points throughout the whole shebang takes the crown. So, now that you know the rules, what will your very first winning word be? You've got the mechanics down, you understand how this interconnected grid works, and you know how to squeeze the maximum points out of every single letter. But strategy? That is where the real game begins. Are you going to focus on building long, complex words to surge ahead in points? Or are you going to play defensively, carefully placing your tiles just to block your opponent's high-scoring opportunities? Grab those tiles, start connecting that grid, and I hope this explainer helps you spell your way to absolute victory.